One thing I've noticed after speaking to hundreds of founders looking at Dubai is this. Almost everyone has already had a few conversations with setup companies before they've spoken to us, and the pattern is always the same. They've spoken to multiple service providers, and every single one of them has told them something completely different. One recommends one free zone, another recommends a completely different one, someone else says set up a mainland license, and at some point, the founder just stops and goes, who am I meant to trust here? And that's usually when the penny drops that something about the process doesn't quite make sense. The reason this happens is actually pretty simple once you understand how the industry works. Most business setup companies are essentially agents for free zones. Each free zone in Dubai issues licenses, and they have partners and intermediaries around the world who introduce clients to them. When a license gets issued, the partner gets paid, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. But it can influence how a conversation starts, because naturally, the focus becomes the license itself. And most formation agents just want to know one thing: how quickly can they issue your license? And if you think about it, that question is jumping quite a few steps ahead, because before you even get to the license, there are other things that need to be understood first. Things like how the business actually operates day to day. Where does your revenue actually come from? How do you, as the founder, plan to run the company internationally? Those are the things that shape the structure. And once the structure is clear, choosing the license becomes much easier. But if you start with your license first, you're basically trying to work backwards. And that's usually why founders end up feeling uncomfortable after a few initial calls. Not because anyone is doing something wrong necessarily, but because the conversation hasn't really unpacked the business itself. Dubai is actually one of the best places in the world to base a company right now. The infrastructure is strong, the regulatory framework is solid, and the government is very pro business. But like anything in business, the real value comes from getting the foundations right. And the license is just one tiny piece of that puzzle. Once you look at it that way, a lot of the confusion founders start to feel suddenly makes a lot more sense.